It's a long story, obviously, 30 years, but it started back in college. And I know even before that, 15 years old, I was the nerd that was walking around with the Barron's Encyclopedia to investing. So kind of always knew I was going to end up here. But the catch was I came from a long line of engineers. My dad, my uncles, my grandfather, everybody was an engineer. So I went to Ohio State and did what? I went into the engineering program. Ryan, I got 2 quarters in, I hit differential equations. I was working my butt off. And all of a sudden, the professor calls me in and says, "Hey, man, you're working so hard and you're getting a B minus." And I'm thinking I'm getting some accolades here. And he said, "You got to find something else to do. You shouldn't be struggling through diff EQ." And I went, "What?" And he said, "Yep." Sent me over to the College of Business, went and talked to somebody there at the stats department because I love math. And from there on out, it was just downhill. It was a great ride and it's going to get even better. But got 3 degrees, finance, accounting, and statistics. Went right to work at one of the regional banks, working in the trust department with their portfolio managers there. Learned about options back in the early 1990s. So, everybody loves options. I love to tell my first story. Intel. I doubled my money literally on my first trade, and you get hooked at that point. I mean, it's literally a situation where you're like, I need to figure this market out. And then went along lines through the early 2000s, working with a couple different research companies specializing in sentiment analysis, because that was very new. Nobody talked about sentiment. It was all about fundamentals, and the markets have changed so much in the last 20 years that you've got to look at that. The other thing that I specialized in was technical analysis, learning what goes on with price activity. Because one thing's true, prices don't lie. You can make fundamentals lie a little bit, or you can fudge numbers here and there. Usually you get caught, but numbers and what the market prices a stock at, that's a fact every single day at 4 o'clock. So technical analysis became a very strong part of my foundation. And then mixing in that sentiment, it's given me what I call behavioral valuation and a long, long history of just not only doing the research, but also trading that, sharing it with people, writing about it, going on the media. It's been a whirlwind tour, and I'm enjoying it, and that's why I'm even happier to be here. I love to educate. I love to teach. I've done a lot of things with the OCC, the OIC, everybody. You name it, I've been out there in front of people teaching about it. So my goal here is to kind of share all of this 30 years worth of knowledge and answer questions and help everybody else become a better trader. It's that simple, man.